In example 7, we are expanding the binomial 2 divided by r cubed plus 4 over the square root of r raised to the third power. All right, so to do this expansion, we're going to start off simple. We're going to expand x plus y cubed, okay? So this one isn't too bad to just multiply out, but we will practice using the binomial theorem here. So I'm going to start with my x's. So the first power of x will be 3, okay? Then the next term will have an x squared, then just an x, and then no x's in the last term. And then I'll put my y's. My first term will not have a y. The y's will start in the second term with y to the first power and then increase by 1. So we'll have y squared, and then y cubed. We'll go ahead and put our binomial coefficients. Okay, each of these guys will have a 3 in the top. And then we'll put the bottom numbers in. The first binomial coefficient will have a 0, and then we'll increase all the way until 3. Okay, and then we're adding in the middle, so there will be plus signs here. Okay, so now we just need to find our binomial coefficients, and we will have the expansion for x plus y, that quantity raised to the third power. Okay, so here if we do 3, choose 0, we're going to get 1. Okay, and then our next coefficient will be 3, choose 1. That will give us 3. And then 3, choose 2. 3, choose 3. Okay, here are all of our coefficients. We will go 1, 3, 3, 1. Okay, I'm going to put these in. 1, 3, 3, 1. So the expansion of x plus y to the third power is going to be 1 times x cubed plus 3 times x squared times y plus 3 times x times y squared plus 1 times y cubed. Okay, we are going to use this now to do the more complicated expansion. Okay, so if we compare x plus y quantity raised to the third power, okay, with the binomial we are trying to expand, okay, the term, if you look inside the parentheses, what's on the left is going to be your x value, okay? So we're going to have to make the replacement that x is 2 over r cubed, okay? And then you have your plus sign, okay? And then what's on the right inside the parentheses is going to be your y value, okay? So y is going to be 4 over the square root of r, okay? So we're going to have to go to our expansion and make these substitutions. Okay, so let me write this here. Everywhere we see an x, we're going to replace it with 2 over r cubed. And everywhere we see a y, we're going to replace it with 4 over the square root of r. Okay, so here we go. Okay, we are going to have, instead of x cubed, we're going to have 2 over r cubed. Okay, that's the x value. We have to cube that. Okay, then we have plus 3 times x squared. X is going to be replaced with 2 over r cubed. Okay, we have to square that. This is x squared. We have to multiply that by y, which is 4 over the square root of r. Okay, so that's the second term. Okay, then we have to add 3 times x. X is 2 over r cubed. We've got to multiply that by y squared. Y is 4 over the square root of r squared. Okay, so this is y squared. And then we have to add as our last term, we need to write down y and then cube it. Okay, so this is going to be our expansion, okay, for the binomial that we're looking for. Okay, this is going to be 2 over r cubed plus 4 over the square root of r all cubed. Okay, this is how it gets expanded. We do have to simplify this. Okay, so let's try to do that. Okay, in the first term here, okay, like I've said already, if you are raising a fraction to a power, you need to take the numerator and raise it to that power, and the denominator and raise it to that power. So the first term is going to be 2 cubed over r cubed cubed. Okay, that's what it's going to turn into. The next term, the 3 is hanging out front. We're going to multiply that by 2 squared over r cubed squared times 4 over the square root of r. Okay, let's keep going. The third term, 3 is hanging out front. We're multiplying that by 2 over r cubed times, okay, this fraction is being raised to a power, so this is going to be 4 squared over the square root of r squared. And then the last term is going to be 4 cubed over the square root of r cubed. All right, so now we've got to just, everything's kind of been, all the fractions have been raised to the powers. We've just got to clean this up, okay? So going back to the first term, 2 cubed is 8, okay? And then we have r cubed cubed, okay? So you have a power raised to a power. You're going to multiply the exponents. So the first term is going to be 8 over r to the 9th power, okay? Moving on to the second term. Let's see here. Let's figure out what the number is going to be. I'm going to go out to the side here. So we've got 3 times 2 squared, that's 4 times 4. Okay, so that's what the numerator is going to be. 3 times 4 is 12, times 4 is going to be 48. So this is going to be 48 over, the bottom is going to be r cubed squared. So that's a power raised to a power. So you're going to multiply the powers. That's r to the 6th. Okay, then you're multiplying by the square root of r. Okay, I'm not sure if you know this, but a square root is considered the 1/2 power. Okay, let me go write that out to the side somewhere, okay, in case you see these radicals, okay, these roots. If you have the square root of something, it is the same thing as taking that something and raising it to the 1/2 power. Similarly, if you have a cubed root, it is the same thing as the 1/3 power. If you have a fourth root, it is the same thing as the 1/4 power, and so on. Okay, so if you've never seen that before, okay, you probably should know it for doing this in case you have some radicals involved. Okay, all right, so going back down here, okay, we're looking at the denominator. We already said that r cubed squared is r to the 6th because we multiply the exponents. Now we're just multiplying the denominators. We have to multiply that by the square root of r. Okay, the square root of r is the same thing as the 1/2 power. Okay, so now you've got a power of r times a power of r. This is when you add the exponents. Okay, so this is going to be r to the 6th plus 1/2. Okay, so the power here on r is going to be 6 plus 1/2. Okay, so you're going to get 6.5, okay, which is 13 halves. Okay, so this is going to be r to the 13 halves power. Okay, all right, moving on. So the third term, okay, what's the coefficient going to be? What's the number going to be? We have 3 times 2 times 4 squared, which is 16. Okay, so this is going to be 6 times 16. So let's see what that is. Okay, that's going to be 96. Okay, so this is going to be plus 96 is going to be in the numerator. Okay, let's try the bottom here. Okay, the bottom is going to be r cubed times, you're multiplying by the square root of r squared. The square and the square root cancel and leave you with just r. So it's going to be r cubed times r. That's just going to be r to the 4th. Okay, so the bottom is going to be r to the 4th. Okay, and then the last term. Okay, we have 4 cubed in the numerator. 4 cubed is the same thing as 64. Okay, so this is going to be plus 64 over. All right, the bottom is the square root of r raised to the 3rd power. Okay, so how do you handle this? Well, the square root of r is the same thing as r to the 1/2 power. You're raising that to the 3rd power. Okay, so you have a power raised to a power. You're going to multiply the exponents. So this is going to be r to the 3/2 power. Okay. All right, and this is the expansion. We're done.